Welcome to the Soapbox Sessions. Imagine this, an open and free internet where voices are never silenced, where causes aren't shadow banned, and where no one can be deplatformed. It's real, it's here, and it's happening on Nostr. So what exactly is Nostr? It's a worldwide community of everyday people working to decentralize the internet. On Nostr, you can build websites, communities, social networks, apps, and more. One login works everywhere, you own it, and no one can take it away. No more juggling dozens of platforms, chasing audiences, or managing a giant password list. And the cherry on top? Nostr allows for built-in digital payments that can come from anywhere in the world. On Nostr, value flows as freely as ideas. We're hooked on decentralizing the web, and we think you will be too. So now, let's hear from your hosts, Derek Ross and Heather Larson, who are working to grow Nostr one vibe at a time.
Welcome back to Soapbox Sessions. Today is January 14th, 2026, and we're here with your weekly dose of all things decentralized, social, and AI. Soapbox Sessions is our soapbox about what's new, what's cool, and what's coming. We want to make it easy to understand and keep you up with everything happening in the decentralized world of social communication and AI as we work to rebuild the internet. One podcast at a time, we are rebuilding the internet.
One vibe at a time, one line of code at a time. Or the age of AI, many lines at a time to be reviewed.
We are. There's lots of lines of code. There's lots of posts on Nostr. And, I normally shut my office door, but I didn't shut my door. My dog joined me.
We have a special guest. It's better your pets than mine, because your pets can behave, whereas my crazy cats will be like,
Well, we're recording this during the day, and I normally, we normally
You're out
record
of your routine.
This in the evening. So my routine is all messed up. My office door is wide open. The dog came in, but that's okay. I love my doggy, and he's just going to come and lay in that chair and listen to his dad talk about things he doesn't know. As long as I don't say his trigger words, he'll be okay.
Can he get his cute face in the frame? Because I think the dog's good for ratings.
It is.
TV producer Heather just activated.
He's a good boy. He's just going to lay there and sleep. I don't even know. Can we see him a little bit?
I can see the corner of him. He's got a cameo. I love this. Derek's dog is on the podcast now, is upstaging us as dogs should. Pod dog in the house. He's adorable. We love him.
Adorable.
He can stay.
And you know what else is adorable?
Nostr?
Nostr, this new beautiful app that just launched yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited to see it. So for the past 3 years, we've been using Nostr.band for stats on Nostr
until it broke.
And
I loved it.
To get some insights. Yeah, until a few months ago, you're right. So stats.nostr.band was the best place that we had for the past 2.5 to 3 years to look at, daily active users, number of zaps, the types of content, the relays people were using, general health of the ecosystem. And
you know what? We should mention that this is information that you weren't going to get about Twitter. I think maybe Blue Sky's kind of open about some of it. But this is how open Nostr is. What's going on Nostr statistically.
So it was analytics of the most amount of information that we have. Now, I always told people that this information could be seen as best guess because there's no way to know about every single Nostr relay that's on the internet. There's entire relays. There's entire relays that sit behind firewalls in China that we don't know about. There's relays in Japan that only allow Japanese IP addresses to connect to. And I'm sure these other scenarios exist like this all around the world where not everybody can read everything from it is what I'm getting at. So if we can't read everything from it,
though. It's so open that we can't see the whole thing in its entirety.
Because you can run any portion you want. In theory, Heather, I could run a Nostr network in my house and have multiple parts of the ecosystem, and we could all be using it here, but it could never leave my house, and no one would ever know about it.
Don't you do that already? Call you out.
So we would say that Nostr.band, the stats that Artur Brugman had out there, were the best guess we had at the time. Well, a few months ago, Arter, he pulled a Satoshi on us and he moved on to different projects, I guess. He's been busy working on other stuff. And
I
that's
remember
okay.
when that happened. Yeah, I mean, people move on. It's okay.
But the stats kind of became stagnant and bad. And people were watching Nostr, like, the stats go down over time as he wasn't maintaining it.
Because they were impossible
and people
to track.
Dooming and gluing, oh, Nostr's dead.
But it's not dead.
And everyone kept saying, hey, man, like, the stats are dead, but
we have no way of knowing what the real statistics are.
We don't know what the real stats are. And I did use
Nostraband a lot, so it was really hard when it went away. I mean, it was a daily driver for me working on other companies' social media presence on Nostr. I was like, what's going on? How many people are here? Here's what you need to know. Your investments.
I monitored every Zap milestone on there. When we hit 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, 6 million. That was what every 6 months we hit a new milestone, and I was checking it out and following it. So it was a big part of my workflow as well. So it hurt to lose it.
Understanding of the ecosystem and how big it is and how it was growing, and do you count it by people who log on? Do you count it by people who make new profiles? Do you count it by people who are sending zaps? And if so, how many?
There's so many different metrics, right?
Yeah, it's fun, nerdy. We're nerds. This is what we do.
Yeah. So we have a new tool. Since Nostr.band has been dead for a few months and not accurate for probably longer, we now have a new best guess tool from Jeff Gardner, friend of the show. He's in the FOD. He's also a member of
he's an AOS guy.
AOS with us.
The growing AOS family. He's part of the family of the larger
AOS keeps expanding.
Collective is what we're calling it, I guess. We're a collective.
The AOS collective. Maybe that's what I should say. Jeff Gardner, he's in the FOD, and he's also an AOS collective member.
There we go.
He made
so many distinctions.
stats.andotherstuff.org. So we'll put this in the show notes, stats.andotherstuff.org. But you can go there and again, best educated guest we have from crawling and analyzing all of the things.
He did a good job.
He said that if you have had a relay running for a long time, or maybe you run a relay that is maybe behind a firewall and you would like your statistics counted, you can send him a JSON-L file, basically a dump of all of your data, and he'll import it into his statistics.
That's awesome.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, that's the spirit of open source.
So the first takeaway I noticed when I look at this, Heather, is Nostr.band, before it completely died, it was showing like 10,000 active users or something like that. Like it was really doom and it was bad.
We were getting sad. It was a bad report card if you took it literally and didn't objectively go, okay, this is not accurate.
So
but still,
according to Jeff's analytics on Nostr stats, it says yesterday there was almost 39,000 unique pub keys that published events.
Okay. That's a much healthier number than we thought.
About 40,000 active, I'm not going to say people because I mean that could be bots or something, but sure.
I have a question. Okay, so since there was a gap for a few months, and Jeff is actively saying, send me your relay info if you would, be so moved. So like we might get some of that lost information back from the past few months. It won't ever be a complete picture though, unless everybody who's ever run a relay sends it that JSON.
Sure. So Jeff is basing this off of his Pensive application, his Pensive relay, which archives and explores and analyzes Nostr data. It goes out there and it ingests data from existing relays. So one of the largest relays is Primal. So he ingested all Primal's relay. He, ingested, the Damus relay, all the major relays, all the small relays, went out there, looked at all the relays for unique data and ingested everything he could. And he's able to go the whole way back to even further than Nostr.band did. Nostr.band didn't start until late November. And I want to say like December 23rd, 2022. That's when their data went to.
Do you remember
according according
It's
to
kind of
Jeff,
amazing.
stats.nostr.ban goes to, I'm sorry, that's not the website, stats.andotherstuff.org. It's muscle memory.
Yeah, you've just been around a
Stats.andotherstuff.org
while.
goes to November 6th, the very first note that Fiat Jeff Dad posted.
Aw, goes back to Dad's first note. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm sure it looked
Or
very
Dad's first event. I mean, it doesn't have to be his
very,
note, his first
very
event.
plain
So
back
over the
then.
past week, Heather, we have this is really interesting. So the daily active user is just about 40,000.
Okay.
The publishing over the past week is about 260,000. Okay.
That means repeat users, or at least repeat.
No, that unique
creations?
pub keys publishing events.
Okay,
So
wait.
there's
So 30
257,000 unique pub keys posting events
in
over
a
the
week.
past week.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
that makes more sense. Okay, so there's a daily number, a weekly number.
And there's a monthly number. Now, if we go to monthly over the past month,
Monthly active users?
monthly, it's over 1.5 million.
So we got 1 million people using Nostr in the last month. I would not have guessed that. That blows me away. And that's not people logging on every single day, though. That's just people who have uniquely, each person who's used it at least once.
Yes.
I guess.
So it just says unique pub keys that have published at least one event over the last month, over the last calendar month. So that means if you signed in and you liked something, you sent a zap, you sent a DM, you updated your profile, you created a blog post, you uploaded a video to Divine.
Does that also count people who use Nostr from Mastodon or Blue Sky? The people who bridge over with those bridge products. Does it count those people as well?
I thought that too.
Okay,
I thought that too, because if it is ingesting the Monster.pub relay, then that would be bridged accounts from Mastodon.
Okay.
If it's, I mean, is that accurate to count them?
Which leads me to ask, like, how many unique users does Mastodon have? Like, we know that Blue Sky, I stopped counting after 35 million.
We're not pulling in all of that data from
we're
the
pulling
Fediverse.
In some portion of people using it and bridging over to Nostr. They may never actually get on Nostr and even see its app or see Nostr in a.
But
it
is content that exists. So
it is content coming over.
I think the way that Jeff is framing this is accurate. He's not calling them users. He's just saying pub keys publishing events. Because
that's like
if
saying
you think
accounts.
about it, during my development,
listening,
during my development with Divine, I probably have 24 pub keys, if not more, from just testing Divine. Like,
well, the real Derek, please
build.
Stand up. I know you have different ones. I've seen them.
Well, I would just sign in with a brand new pub key to test the flow of a brand new user, and I'm sure other developers do this too. So
I didn't do that. I just
that number's a little skewed, but even so, I think if you look at trends, you can see that. Like, if you look at the trends, you can see that it's been trending up.
I'm going to be honest, though. It doesn't.
Since October, it's been trending up.
That's good. Okay, so
that's before Divine.
That's before. I'm going to be honest. I think that it doesn't feel like we have 1 million users a month on Nostr. However, the caveat there is I am an English-speaking person who uses Nostr in English. I think that there are plenty of other people out there using different languages, whether it's, Arabic, Farsi, other Cyrillic languages, or just Japanese, just things that I'm never going to make out. Like, I can translate easily. Some of the apps actually do this for you. If it's an Indonesian, Asian language that's in a completely different script, like Damas will translate it for me, and then I can read it. But I'm not looking at Nostr and Farsi, and that's something that I'm curious about of like different countries. Like, what's going on in Iran right now is pretty incendiary, and they've turned off the internet, and our people.
All right, Heather.
still using any of this in some capacity in some.
I got data for you.
You got data for me, yes.
Out of that 1.54 million users over the past month, over the past month, 500,000 of those, 600,000 of those have been users on Nostr.
Okay.
So that gives us
what's for the uninitiated, what's Nostr?
Sure. I'm
Somebody's
sorry.
listening going, what the hell are they talking about?
Nostr is the content that comes over from the Fediverse.
The Mastodon bridge, like bridging
the
Mastodon to
bridge.
Nostr. Hence
Sure.
Nostr.
It's Mastodon Nostr bridge. Nostr, the bridge, has 600,000 users over the past month.
That's amazing. That's a lot of people.
We have a total of almost 1.6 million on Nostr. So that means 1 million Nostr profiles publishing data that aren't bridged users.
Ah, there we go. Okay, so that's even better, actually. Well, I think the thing with the Nostr people,
this is best guess, right? This is me interpreting it.
So the bridge people, like you see some of these people, and a lot, you'll see a lot of, like, a perfect example of this. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there's several news organizations that use that bridge, and so their content gets fed to Nostr, so you will see it, but if you respond to them, they're not really on Nostr. Like, they're not going to see your response unless they log into a Nostr app and say, oh, Heather responded to my news article, maybe I'll respond to. Like, they just don't see the replies. Like, they're basically, I don't know, spamming out content in that way, which is fine. I mean, if you're a news organization, that gives you another chance to use Nostr. But I find a lot of those people, they don't have a wallet set up and you can't zap them. And then I'm like, hey, get on Nostr so I can zap you. And I'll email people, I'll cold email people, and then they never answer. And they don't get on Nostr and I never get to zap them. And it's sad for right now. This will change someday, I hope.
Do you know what I also learned through this discovery is that we zap a lot of Bitcoin, a lot more than I thought.
This is a huge Bitcoin economy. It's a big Bitcoin circular economy.
It is.
Kind of insane.
We've sent a total of 41.5 Bitcoin.
That's
over the past 3 years.
That's a lot of money moving through Nostr, moving through different Nostr apps, and that's kind of staggering.
Now, back in the day, whenever Zaps first came out, there were some people that were spoofing Zaps and the amounts. And one friend of mine, Semi-Soul, he zapped himself 22 million Bitcoin just to show that Zaps could be spoofed. Yeah. So there is a chance that 41 Bitcoin could be a little bit skewed.
It'll inflate it, maybe.
This is all best guess. But if we look at it over the last 90 days, we sent, the past 3 months, we sent 1.2 Bitcoin. Over the past month, we sent about a third of a Bitcoin. So I bet that number's probably pretty close, to be honest with you.
I think there's a distinguishment that needs to be made here for the normal people, because I recently talked to my friend Mark and talked about Bitcoin, and he did not realize that you could have Bitcoin in small denominations. Realize that you had to have like one whole Bitcoin. I think this is a big misconception for a lot of people. So I think we need to clarify that. But when we're sending Bitcoin over the Nostr network, it's over the Lightning network, and it's small denominations. Like Derek will say something funny, and I'll be like, "That's funny. Here's 21 sats." So it's like, or whatever.
Sometimes like pennies, right?
Yeah, it's like
Bitcoin is dollars, and then
so to kind of
sats
put it
pennies.
In a bigger perspective, it's not like I'm sending Derek $20. I'm sending him like 2 cents. So if you magnify how many people are on the Nostr network at a day a week, a month, and we're sending a high volume of these zaps, but they're all micro payments. It's like I'm literally throwing pennies at Derek from across the country. Okay, and so multiply that by how many pennies make $1, make $10. If we're gonna go in 10-point intervals here, we go, okay, well, that's a shitload of participation. Actually, if you really wrap your brain around that and go, okay, that's literally every person on Nostr giving each other a few cents, probably multiple times a day.
Well, and
That's huge.
That's very cool that we can do that. That
Yeah,
we don't have to have a specific like low
and
amount,
it's real
high
money.
amount.
It's not
Yeah.
XP. It's not like I'm buying hearts on TikTok or whatever that is, and sending you like in-app video gamified crap. This is actual real like money. Real money with meaning. Like I can help man like Quex pay his power bill for electricity, in Tanzania. And some people certainly, we had a guy in Venezuela after Maduro got captured went, I don't know what's about to happen. I would need to stay home for 3 days just in case, zap me, any sat counts. And so it's like, oh, we can do that. I can send him 30 cents or I can send him $30. That's kind of, maybe in America, I think we're very overprivileged. We don't realize that like we don't have a need for that, but it's still in other countries. There is a need and certain days of the year in certain places. And that's kind of incredible that we can do that for each other.
So we learned that Nostr's more active than the Doomers and the Gloomers thought. We sent a lot of Bitcoin, but I learned that Nostr, well, something I knew. Now I have data to enforce that application developers need to be better at teaching people how to use relays.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you're preaching to the choir. Yeah, I need to be better at that too.
The second most popular relay out there, and the 9th and the 10th and the 12th and the 17th and more, but those are the most important ones. These relays are dead. They don't work.
Oh yeah, you know those things.
The relay relayable.org has been dead for a year and a half and still has almost 100,000 people that have it as a relay.
Well, that makes sense to me because I don't think about my relays until I have a problem. I signed up for Nostr, set up some relays, and then years passed. And
the Mutiny Wallet relay has been dead for ever,
a long time,
for well over a year. It has 70-some thousand. Wiz from Mempool, his relay has been dead forever. It's super popular. Like all of these popular relays are listed on people's profiles, and you need to clean those up. You're essentially giving yourself a bad experience without optimizing your relays.
You don't know what you don't know. And usually I don't realize I have problems until there's a problem and something doesn't work. And then I'm like, Derek, what happened? And you're like, Heather, your relays are old. You need to delete them. And I'm like, oh, okay.
But developers could be surfacing this type of stuff. So
that's true.
Whenever you post, people don't like error messages, right? They don't like things that are annoying. So you need to find a happy medium between letting people know that their experience could be better and annoying people, because then they won't want to use your app.
There needs to be an alert like, hey, your relay died, Heather, delete it or get a new one or whatever.
Exactly. People need to know that there's a network, and just say there's a network problem. Tap here to learn more. And
here's what would work for me.
The user swipes it away, right? The next time they go to post and it's, hey, this post took 10 seconds to post, or your feed was slow. Do you know why your feed is slow to load? Because we're checking all these old defunct relays and we have to wait for them to time out. Like there's all sorts of little things that we could do to optimize network connectivity.
We need to do better than that though, because I've been around for a while and I take for granted what I know. And then what I don't know, I go to Derek, and Derek knows, right? But to do better, I think we need something in the in-app that just lets me select relays without having to go like to an external source and go, I don't know what to type in when I delete a relay or I need to add a relay. I don't know where to find a relay.
The apps need to do this.
It needs to be an app.
Relays are very powerful, and they've always been a very neglected part of most apps. I'll say Amethyst is an exception here. But Amethyst also is not going to be user friendly. Amethyst is
it's also for Android.
Very technical. Not that it's Android. It's just extremely technical because it has too many
iOS, I've never
user
used it.
options out there, in my opinion. But I love all of these options. I
Well, you're
like it.
technical. You're highly technical.
But
It
Heather,
works
if I
for
were to
you.
show
Yeah.
you, if I show you the Amethyst relay options and say, here you go, configure this, you're going to be like, yeah, no. You're not
Here's the
going to
thing.
like it.
Can we show it to my cousins? They are the most mainstream people. One likes social media, one hates social media, and probably only uses it because the kids want to be on it, right? The kids want to be on Instagram, and so now the kids' parents have to be like, "Oh crap, we gotta police this. We gotta watch." So they don't want to be there at all. They're begrudgingly there. So then if we throw them another social media thing and it's difficult, they're out. But if the kids want to be there, then they have to learn it. So that's kind of the thing. Can we make it easy for Heather's mainstream relatives who are not tech at all? They all don't like AI. They don't care. They're not interested in it. They don't even use ChatGPT, as far as I know. Like, they hate it. They've got a stigma around technology because they don't care. I cannot express how much my family does not care or understand what I do at all. Like, they are so mainstream, so normal. People who live on their phones, people who would rather never be on a computer, period. They're not like us, Derek.
You know, another thing that we need to do better, this goes along the lines of what you were just saying and what I was saying, that Nostr is still very technical and we can do a lot to improve that. And if we need data, this retention table that's on the Nostr stats page, it is horrible.
We're not retaining them.
Most months retention is like 1 to 2%.
I think that's normal because remember, I started 3 years ago and I bounced for 9 months before I came back. I think that's a normal. Someone told me this the other day. I tried it and bounced.
From month 0, from month 0 to 7 months in. So you're giving people the benefit of the doubt here. 7 months retention after that first month generally is very low single digits, and then it's
dead.
It stays 1% the whole year. Like, there's been a few outlier months. So in August and September, we had 14% and 11% retention after 30 days. So I'm curious what happened
because that was
in August and September that made people try Nostr more. But then that number falls off to 8% and 6% in the next month. And then the next month, 6%, 1%.
September,
and then the next month, 1%.
I feel like August and September are busy times and people get into school and fall and football. But I would also wager to say that this is not an exclusive Nostr problem. I think people as a whole, society at large, does not like social media, and there's such a movement towards like analog rooms. Did you hear about? I read this somewhere. There's people are putting analog rooms in their house where there's no screens. They just put in a record player and play chess. And so I think there's this mass movement away from social media because people are like, oh, it's bad for me. It's doom scrolling. I'm addicted to it. So there's like, we're skewing towards the other extreme where, okay, we went from having too much social media involvement and it's wrong and it's bad to, okay, let's go live like we're Amish again. Let's go live like we're, and then have a 90s,
I get it. People are starting to
So-
realize that social media may not be healthy in its current form.
Well, it's been around for 20 years. So
we're hoping
like-
to fix that.
well, I think we'll fix that.
But that
I think
first
attitudes
decade, Heather,
need to-
I would say that the first decade, it was not negative for your mental health.
Right. But then as time went on, it got unshitified. Shout out to Cory Doctorow and his great books that I've been spending a lot of time reading. But, we can't have one extreme or the other because it's still a tool. It's still how you get hooked up for your community, advertise your business, meet people, find your interests. There's still good aspects of it. It doesn't have to be, let's go into the analog room and stick our heads in the sand like ostriches. And in the middle, it's let's be a nostrich. Where nostriches aren't sticking our head in the sand about social media. We are creating an alternative to it where, yes, there's a way to use social media and have it be a better experience and more healthy and not unshitified. It's taken us a few years to get here. So I think we're accelerating because we have the AI assisted development. We're vibe coding a better future faster than we could have. 2025 moved really fast. 2026 is going to be even faster. Can't wait to see what we build this year. And Derek's been building things, which he'll get to. But, that's just one example, I think, of where we're going, is not just having users, but having people who participate in building the thing because they realize, oh, I can make the thing the way I want it to be. What? Okay, I'm in. Oh, and you're going to send me some money just because I posted a meme. Okay, now I'm totally in. It's just people have to experience it, and it's kind of it's a fire hose of information, but it's got to ease into it. You got to ease into the water. It's like the water's super cold and you just got to stick a toe in, and until you ease into it, and then it feels good. It's kind of like that.
As I got older, I do ease myself into the cold lake, but when I was younger, I just jumped right in. I didn't care.
Right. And now we're getting older. We're getting a little slower. We're like, wait a minute.
It's like, ooh, it's cold.
I'm not ride or die. Where are we riding? Who's dying? I have questions first.
All right, let's talk about a little bit of building here this past week. Move on from Nostr stats. The key takeaway is go check it out. I've been building some interesting things as part of this whole Build Anything campaign. Coincidentally, I built something in a place that you don't normally build. Last week we had Alex and
just
Chad
to prove a point,
building in and on places you don't normally build.
Which was fun. I put that in the video version of the podcast on YouTube, by the way.
Yeah.
Vibe coding on the fridge at Best Buy, on the smart fridge
So
screen.
I didn't vibe code on a car. I didn't vibe code on a refrigerator, but I did it in the automotive section of a Walmart because I had taken my car to get new tires and at Walmart, and we were shopping. And when we were done shopping, we figured, the stars would align and it would be time to get the car. Well, that was not the case.
Have you never been to Walmart auto shop before? They take forever.
Rarely. We normally go somewhere else, but the guy that we normally go to, he was out of commission yesterday or that last weekend, so we couldn't go there. So we just went to Walmart. My car started being worked on right away at Walmart. Like I didn't have to wait, but it still took 2.5 hours to change 4 tires.
Walmart operates on its own time like a casino. Okay.
I
that's
think
how it works.
The guy was great. He was friendly.
I love Walmart,
but I think he's like, we close at 7:00. It's almost 5. I bet I can fuck around and do this the next 2.5 hours. Like,
do you blame him?
I don't know what happened, but anyways, while he was working on my car and putting new tires and valve stems and bead seals and all that good stuff, Heather and I were talking about blogging on Nostr.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to write this blog for Soapbox Sessions.
From his phone in Walmart.
Yeah, from my phone. That's the key point. So I was like, okay, well, off the top of my head, I know that Yakahone has a built-in article writer. So I tried to do that. And I couldn't figure out how to publish an image. The big icon of adding an image, I kept tapping that big icon, the picture of an image, and I couldn't upload an image. Well, apparently I'm dumb. Apparently you click on upload image, the text, and it works. But I didn't know that. I'm clicking on the big icon and it didn't work.
That's like you would do that on a desktop. So that's a normal,
It took me complaining to them the next day. And then as I was complaining to them, I was testing it and recording a video, and I accidentally touched the text. I'm like, what? The text works? So I told them that, and they're actually going to fix it. They said, you know what? It makes sense. The icon should be actionable too. So they're going to fix their app or update their app for people that are dumb.
The more users we have using stuff, it gets better. That's the point.
So that didn't work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Yakahone, I couldn't figure it out. It didn't work for me. So I said, all right, let me go check out Highlighter. Well, highlighter.com is essentially broken. That website's very broken, unfortunately. So that didn't work. I said, let me try abla.news. And abla.news works great on desktop. Would not let me sign in on mobile. I didn't have a mobile extension in Chrome. I couldn't sign in.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm starting to
Makes
get mad.
sense.
And I'm like, okay. All right. It's like, well, Primal. Can I do Primal articles on the mobile browser on my phone?
Never tried.
Nope.
Okay.
You can't. So now I'm raging to Heather, and I'm like, I can't get this to work, and like telling her that I'm upset. And then I just had an idea. I had an idea. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to vibe code this.
So he gets on Shakespeare DIY, Shakespeare.diy.
Yeah, I loaded up Shakespeare. I signed in on mobile because it's easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
Little dog food. I said my prompt was really simple. Something like, make a very simple, elegant, beautiful writing app. I don't want any other features, but just writing and publishing.
Boom.
And it made it. And it cost me $3. And then I was able to upload, paste my article in, upload an image, and publish it.
People don't know that this is not your normal prompt. That was like a Heather prompt where like the one-liner prompt. That's what I do. Derek will go like, I'm gonna go all in and make a paragraph of like stuff to make me an MVP, and it should have this, and this, and he'll have like a whole page.
Yeah, normally I lay out how all the features work, but I didn't do that.
Not when you're at Walmart.
No, I did follow up, and I said. I had a couple fixes. There was a couple follow-ups. I think
that's not bad.
My Walmart app had a total of 2 prompts. And then when I got home, I went on desktop and a couple other prompts, like 2, 3 more prompts, just to fix and change some things around. I wanted to work a little bit differently, but it did 100% work from Walmart. I've since then customized it, adding a better editor. But it's pretty much feature complete now.
Getting started,
altogether, cost was very minimal.
$3, 2 prompts, and you've got basically something you could start with. And then, I don't like to do anything on mobile. I'll be honest. I only like to work at home on my laptop and my browser.
We old.
I'm Gen X, baby. I gotta have that. But I've been looking at it. I'm like, how many prompts does it take me to get? How many licks does it take to get to the center? How. And it over time, since we launched Shakespeare in like July, over time it has become easier to get a very good website or app with 1 to 4 prompts and relatively cheap. It's getting cheaper, it's getting better, and it's getting faster, and that blows me away since I've been here the whole time. I've just watched this kind of gradually get better. If you took me today and picked me up and Marty McFly took me back in time to August and told me what I'm doing today, I'd be like, damn, that must be years later. No, it's like months later. That's what's amazing about what AI can do. All these models are getting better so quickly, and it's making our lives easier. Derek can just solve a problem on the fly. Like, you could have been vibe coding the whole time you and your wife were shopping in Walmart. You could have just been like taking the phone out of your pocket and be like, oh, here's another prompt. A couple minutes later, oh, here's another. Like, you could just do that, but you're probably just sitting in anger in the auto area. Just stewing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I mean, we were both stewing for a while, but then I decided to be productive.
There you go. Because why not? Kill some time.
I've also been exploring other things with building the past week.
You've expanded.
Normally we build apps, but I've been building productivity, I guess.
Productivity tools?
I've been building skills. Yeah, I've been building these skills and these agentic skills and so forth.
What he's trying to say is he's using AI to be more productive. Yeah. You're using the AI tools at your disposal, whether it's Claude or whatever. There's a way that you finagled that now I'm like, oh, well, how did he do this? Let me see if I can do this.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I loved it. I've been building it for about 2 weeks now. And I use it every day, all day long. I demoed it this past week at the Hive Talk, where we do the vibe coding jam session on Mondays.
Monday night sessions,
and everybody loved it. And I've had multiple people like follow up asking me questions. I demoed it to our team and the AOS collective team, and people were sliding into my DMs asking questions and want to see it. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know this was a real thing. This was just like a Derek nerd project.
No, you've got something there, because I did not know that I could, tweak Obsidian to the point that you have tweaked it? Because I was using it as a dumping ground for information I was collecting, like working on my different yoga certifications and trying to like put facts in folders so I could go back later, and I didn't even think of hooking the AI to the Obsidian, and now I'm like, what?
Yeah. So
okay.
This so what I'm doing, like Heather just said, is I'm using Obsidian as your knowledge base, your second brain with all of your data. Like you literally put every minute thing in there that you're working on, anything you want to track, any task, whatever, meeting notes, and then you just hook AI up to it and say do the thing. But I went one step further. I built half a dozen skills. Now, skills are, we'll say, specific sets of knowledge that
But they're Claude. Claude has
that
skills.
AI can incorporate. I don't know what that word is.
Interpret. New words. Wait, so but are skills
Claude or
exclusive to Claude?
OpenCode?
Okay.
Well, no, you can. I'm using them with OpenCode. You can use them with Claude.
Okay.
I originally used them with Claude, and then I got beat up by our boss, Alex Gleason, to use OpenCode. So I'm using with
did
OpenCode
the same thing
now.
to me today,
too. But
But
essentially, I have this very specific instruction set for creative content writing. I have a very specific instruction set for an executive assistant. I have a very specific instruction set for my job as a Nostr DevRel. And I filled all this out and built all this contextual information. So when I tell AI, look at all my tasks, and I don't even have to say that. I can just say, tell me today's schedule or give me my schedule for today.
nice.
And I have these open source tools that go along with Obsidian and go along with my skills that I'm using. I'm using an open source calendar tool called Khal, Khal. And the only reason I'm using that mostly is because it's text-based, it's terminal-based, so Claude can read it because it can output stuff to a terminal command line, so Claude can interact with it and read it. It's not GUI. I don't need it to be GUI. I need Claude to be able to read it, or OpenCode to be able to read it. Or
I still need a GUI. I'm still out of the terminal with all of this stuff. I want the no-code GUI way.
But Heather, I don't use that though. My robot does. I don't use the terminal calendar, right? I don't use the terminal contact cards. I don't use the terminal task manager. The robot, I'm using all of these, like 4 different open source tools: Task Warrior, Card, Khal, and vSync. I'm using all of those because my robot can read the output, and then the robot gives me a pretty formatted document in Obsidian. So it works really well. I'm hooking into, I used my robot to also make some GitLab scripts and some GitHub
I had no idea.
To pull in all of my work.
Yeah, I didn't know it had a GitHub integration at all. Like I didn't know any of these things existed until you started talking about this stuff.
Yeah, so I'm pulling in all of this stuff automatically, and it's syncing throughout the day. So I have one central repository for all of my GitHub, all my GitLab, all of my tasks, all of my calendar, all of my contacts, my job descriptions, my schedule, what I want to do, like my job responsibilities worksheet type stuff, all of this. And then I just feed it into Claude or feed it into OpenCode and say, help me do my job, basically, and help me do this task. Help me prepare for this meeting. I have a Soapbox Sessions episode coming up, a podcast episode coming up with Heather. Let me know what we should talk about. What have I been working on the past week? Give me a report. I have a conference I need to schedule a workshop for. I need to do a Shakespeare workshop, and this is the audience. Like it's actually amazing. And I'm excited to just keep adding to this because I think this is the future. I know it is because there's multi-billion-dollar companies that just launched the same product yesterday after I spent 2 weeks doing the same thing.
Wild.
So that kind of validated, like when Anthropic announced Claude Co-work, I'm like, oh, you fucker, I was doing the same thing.
Well, I didn't realize that they could even I wouldn't have even thought about this until you decided, okay, I'm changing jobs. I have a need for this. I want a productivity suite. I want to build it myself. I have the skill to build it myself. Like you figured it out where I was looking for a product that just answered the need, right? So I looked at Apple's craft thing, ultimately decided I didn't like it, but I really loved it at first. Glad I didn't spend the money on it because after a couple of weeks, I was like, oh, this really doesn't suit my needs. And actually Obsidian and what Derek is building with Obsidian and Claude, this actually would probably work just the same or actually better for me. It's just that it doesn't have that slick Apple look, which is fine. I need something with utility. I don't care what it looks like really at the end of the day. Although it's nice, but like that's the difference between me and you, is me being more of like that normie, non-technical person. I'm going to look for a product that solves my problems, even though I probably already have a product that does. But if I just hook up Claude to Obsidian, I didn't know I could do that. I wouldn't even have thought of that. And these are the connections I don't think people are making, because people are still stuck on some of the stigmas or the rumors or the negativity of AI and don't realize that it's actually here to help us. And if we use it right, I think Derek is using it right, then it's just another tool in the shed to help me get through my day, organize my thoughts, organize my second brain. And that guy that wrote the Second Brain book, Tiago Forte, I got to look him up and see what he's doing now, because he needs to do Second Brain with AI. You should talk to Derek and get that together. Because here's the thing is and when my niece doesn't like AI and she bitches about it because, there's a public perception and a stigma and she's Gen Z, I just think to myself, you haven't had to do things that suck that you want to replace the tasks and have AI do your manual labor for you. That is why you don't like it. You don't see it as something that can help you. And I think over time, because we have these tools, they're going to become a necessity, and people aren't going to hire people to work for them if they don't know how to wield the tools and become more productive. Because now I think every day I think to myself, can AI do this for me? Or can I do this faster with some help from AI? What do I outsource to it? And then where do I let it help me? And then where do I do things that are distinctively human that I don't want a robot to do for me? There's 3 different buckets mentally for me right now, where it's like, okay, I want to, and it's best if I do this. Second of all, this is a waste of my time and it can do it for me better. And then third of all, like yesterday I was making spreadsheets and I'm like, it can make the spreadsheets and do the parts that I don't like, but they're still going to come out wrong. And I still have to guide it to make the spreadsheets the way I want them to be. But then I don't have to worry about the way they look and all the parts that I don't care about doing personally.
Use it as a template. That's what I do.
Exactly.
Feed it the information and say, do the thing, and then have it correct the thing. And then you go in and human edit what you need to. It's a great template and getting started tool.
Yeah, get unstuck, save some time. And if it normally would take me an hour to make a spreadsheet manually myself and it'd still be ugly. Maybe I knock 20, 30 minutes off of it and it looks pretty, because that's not my skills. My personal spreadsheets are ugly because I don't care what they look like. So if I want to make spreadsheets for Soapbox and I want them to look pretty, it will do that part for me. And then it made a spreadsheet for me. And I was like, hey, I think you're confused here about what I really want, because I've had Claude for a long time without paying for it. It dated back to my B2B marketing days. So I put a bunch of B2B formulas in my spreadsheets. And I was like, no. Slow down here, friend. We don't want that. This is not going to be for B2B. And it was like, oh, okay. And let me now please you and give you what you want. And we moved on. And it's like having a good employee. And if you don't treat it like a good employee, you're going to,
you need to treat it like an intern. First you need to treat it like an intern, because you need to give it all of the details.
Train it.
Pretend it's very capable. Like it's just starting out its career. It's very gung-ho and ready to help, but it doesn't know anything. So if you can give it as much information as possible, it will do the job, but you just have to hold its hand to get started.
Yeah, and it's still going to get the wrong ideas, like that little intern, and it's going to be like, hey, that's good. You tried, but let's do it this way. This is what I really want. And then it's like, okay, then you learn how to deal with it better, and it makes you more productive, and you're training it so maybe in the future it will remember that, oh, Heather's given up on B2B formulas. She's over that. Let's go move on to what she wants.
These interns all have multiple PhDs, so they're extremely smart, but they just have no experience.
They're literal.
So
they're very literal.
If you can tell them what you want to do and give them as much context, that's why building out all these agentic skills is incredible what I'm able to do, because I just give them all of the content and then say, use all of the information about everything that I gave you and help me out with this new specific task. And it works great. Today, this morning, I was updating my skills, adding a Nostr ecosystem skill. Well, I'm enhancing the DevRel skill with this
What does that
reference,
mean?
where I'm putting a bunch of Nostr like shows, podcasts in there, a bunch of Nostr developers and all of their, links to all their apps and links to their profiles and their
Oh, okay.
npubs, putting, protocol developers in there, putting some
So you're building a database.
influential accounts. Sure. Yeah, it's essentially a database, but now Claude knows all of this too. So if I say
Yay.
something like, I need to find just an example, I need to find a podcast guest to talk about XYZ, maybe it'll come back and be like, oh, well, based on all the information you gave me, these are the 4 people you should try to hit up. Would you like me to schedule this on your calendar for you and email them?
Yeah, there you go. That's
And it
that's
can
the
do
thing
that.
is like it becomes your virtual assistant once you use it properly,
Yeah.
put a little time and effort into training it, right? And that's where I'm trying to get to because for a while I've just kind of looked at it like, oh, you just dump things in Chat GPT and ask it to summarize them. And I've been using it like that for a long time. And I'm like, this doesn't actually help me. Like I realize it's getting better to where it could be more helpful than this and I can use it for bigger,
Well,
better
so
things
the
and
Chat
get more
GPT
productive.
memory, just like Claude's memory, if you go in and you delete the things that you don't want it to like know about you,
Mm,
basically,
there you go.
you can kind of self-train it to be better to help you out. Like, let's
Yeah.
say I asked maybe for some type of recipe, maybe. Well, that's not what I generally care about. But so I don't want Claude or I don't want, Chat GPT to think that I care about all these recipes all the time. That was just like a one-off
He's
thing.
not talking
So I'll
about
delete
food
that from memory.
recipes. He's talking about
Yeah.
AI recipes. Like Goose does that with
No, I actually
recipes.
was talking about food recipes.
You were? Okay, because I was thinking of like Goose
Yeah.
recipes,
Well,
like how
that's
Goose
the
has
thing.
recipes.
Maybe I don't want it to always suggest food recipes. I want AI recipes. So I delete the one time I asked how to make, I don't know, something that I didn't know how to make. So you can go do that because that's how these things work is they essentially read your chat history for context and they call that memory. And I had a
Yeah.
debate with somebody once.
Shakespeare does it.
Is that actually memory? Is it memory or is it not? Like, who's to say that that's not actually how memory works?
I don't know. Shakespeare has
Like human
oddly
memory.
remembered things I've asked it to do before, and that has creeped me out that there's a memory somehow in there and that it wants to please me and
Well, it shouldn't.
give a repeat.
Shakespeare doesn't have memory.
I know, but it's done it to where like I've asked it for something like 3 sessions ago and like a couple sessions later it like just does it and I'm like, "Oh, like that feels really stalkerish that it did that." Like it shouldn't cuz I'm probably using Claude or something within Shakespeare, but
I would
it
say that
remembers
it's
things.
probably more that AI, you could ask an AI 3 things on 3 different occasions, like the same thing 3 different times,
It does
and
the
get 3
probability. Yeah.
3 wildly different answers, but then
Yeah.
sometimes
You get
randomly you'll get stuff that
it's
is the
weird.
same.
It feels stalkerish. It feels like the robots are stalking me and I need to have my Sarah Connor moment.
Or if you're signed in with Nostr though.
Yeah, it does.
So
That's a
Shakespeare
cool
will
thing.
read your Nostr profile. So if you
Mhm.
did maybe say something on Nostr, it will know a little bit about you. But we do that so you can say, "Build me a portfolio," and
Oh yeah,
it'll
that's
just be
like
like,
the
"Oh, I know who
best
Derek is."
Shakespeare. Like if you don't want to do anything else with AI, but you want to experience the magic of AI, get on Shakespeare with a couple bucks and say, hey, provided you have an Austrian pub that you've been using for a while, it will do this. Like, hey, make me a portfolio based on my Nostr NPub, and it'll just do it, and it'll just work. And I've done that, and it's blown me away how just even something like that has gotten better since August. By the end of the year and like 3 or 4
Well,
months of that, it's
everything's getting
just
better all the time, not
it's
just, what we're
accelerating.
building.
Yeah,
Every
it's amazing.
No one's going backwards. Like, recently,
No.
we wanted to talk about this last week, and we didn't get a chance to.
Mhm.
This week I'll mention it since it just popped into my head is Primal had a major app update last week that I've been using, demoing it, testing it, whatever you want to call it, for previewing it for a while now, and we can finally talk about it. They added a remote signer to their app. Now, what does that mean? That sounds
Right. It doesn't
if you don't know
sound
what
as
that means.
cool as it is. I'll say that. Like, it's actually pretty cool.
So most people will tell you that you shouldn't take your Nostr key and go and put it into every single app.
True.
You should only put it into some trusted apps. You shouldn't ever log into a website with it because of web scripting vulnerabilities, cross-site scripting vulnerabilities, and so forth. It's just not good practice to take your NSEC and
Okay.
put it everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't want to raw
Safe
dog
and
it.
sex. Yeah.
And to do this, one of the best practices is to think of it as like a wallet or like a vault, kind of like a password manager specifically for Nostr. So Android's most popular app for doing this is an app called Amber. iOS doesn't have this. Amber is very technical, but it works. So Primal decided to build one of these NSEC vaults, one of these remote signer password manager type things, into their app. So if you're already a Primal user, you don't have to use a secondary app to accomplish this. You don't need to download another app and put your NSEC in another app. So this is awesome. You can use Primal as your main Nostr app, but then you can now use Primal to sign into all these other stuff applications. Like all the websites that we build with Shakespeare, you can now sign in with Primal. You don't have to put your NSEC in or create a
Very cool.
complicated
I
bunker.
think it's
So
a
if you're
thing
on
that you kind of have to experience it or see it, I think, to understand it. Or maybe that's just me and my preferences of learning things. But I think you really have to experience this. It's, because it's still, you don't have an account. You still have an NSEC, but you can log into any Nostr app pretty much, right?
So it's so easy that you can go to, I'm going to show my apps because I made my apps specifically work with it. I apologize, but you can go to nosternest.com, plectos.app, zapix.app,
Those are
and
all hard to spell.
zaptracks.app. Yeah, just go to my profile. Every single thing listed
Yeah,
there.
go to the Derek
But
Ross
you can go
profile
to
because they're all
all
spelled.
of my apps.
Derek's like a startup that spells everything weird. That's what he does.
Yeah, that's funny. You go there and you click on the link, you open up the link, you click on login, and then you click the button that says connect. And then you click a button that says open signer app, and it'll open up
cool.
Primal. It'll say, "Do you want to sign in?" You click sign in, and then
And
it
every Primal
takes you
user
immediately
knows
back
this.
to my app. Yeah, we need more demos on this. I think Paul was going to do a demo with Nostr Nest and test it out. I think.
Cool. Yeah, because when I signed into Primal, every time my NPub signed in, to Primal again after they did this change, it would pop up and be like, "Hey, you have remote signer now, yay!" And I was like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah,
it's
a little interesting because I like how it's done because it puts the remote signer active front and center and allows you to disable it and re-enable it whenever you need to. So it hides it when you need to hide it, and it's active when it needs to be. I like their UX with it. It's really good, actually. I was really surprised. And this was something that I mentioned months ago on Nostr. I said, the other stuff of Nostr is never going to grow unless the most popular apps build signers into their apps. And some people are like, no, we're not doing that. And some people are like, hey, that's a good idea. And Pablo, the guy that created NSEC bunkers, a year and a half ago, he's like, yes, I've been telling people to do this forever. And now we have it. Pablo,
yeah, that's a
yes.
good
Now we have
thing
it.
for user experience, onboarding, retention. Anytime I have to log into something online and open up my 1Password or my Apple password thing, I'm just like, oh God, do I need to be in this app that bad? Like I hate signing into things. I hate it because over the years I went from like maybe some things are preserved in my browser, maybe some things are in my 1Password. It's just like I discombobulated because as I've done a better job, with my strengthened my cybersecurity, like I'm still a little discombobulated. It takes time to get it all the way I want it to do, but I hate signing. I hate signing into anything anymore. I say except Nostr. I mean, that's pretty got that down to a science.
Yeah. Well, we
But,
can make it easier.
And we will. We need to make it easier.
So this weekend, myself, and Alex, and MK, and Chad, we are heading to Bitcoin Park in Austin, Texas.
That's going to be awesome. I have FOMO that you guys are going to be together somewhere.
We're going to a AI hackathon for human rights activists, sponsored by Bitcoin Park and HRF. So we're going to build tools for freedom fighters and activists that need tools to do their job better.
That's pretty awesome.
So
can't wait to see what comes of this. You guys are going to be building some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Don't know what yet. That's the fun part of it.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious if we're all going to get put on separate teams, because the way that this workflow works is each team is going to be led by a human rights activist, and then there'll be 1 to 2 developers on that team. So there's a chance that all 4 of us could be on separate teams, but maybe we could have 2 and 2 and attack that way. I don't know. I don't know what the best plan of attack is. Should we have 4? 4?
I'd rather see you guys distributed, because that spreads the magic a little further. It also gets you out with more people rather than concentrating.
We may be on teams with other people. We may be on teams together. We may be on teams by ourselves with the activist. I don't know. I'm excited to see what we do.
Yeah, I want to see what the activists want. Yeah, I want to see what do they want? What are their needs? Because I think for a long time in Nostr, Nostr is a very incestuous little pool of humans who build things, and I think that we tend to have a lot of smart people who build things for other smart people, and it's like a club. But let's get out of that bubble and find people in the real world who have very pressing, very important needs, as activists and dissidents do, and let's meet their needs, because I know that we have the tools, the very secure and decentralized tools that will keep them private and anonymous and not dox them. I think we have the tools that they need to accomplish whatever they want and stay safe. And I think that's the important thing, is okay, what do you want? How do we help you with this? And then also, are you guys able to explain to them how these tools work? How they simply explain to them, here's how it works. Well, here's what you need to know to stay safe and keep your location safe, because they already know about things like VPNs and, Bitcoin, etc.
So honestly, I mean, I don't know. I'm not there. I'll find out in 2 days, but I'm hoping it goes along the lines of something like, we do, 99% of the work, give them or 100% of the work, give them a full working product, but also they learn and have the tools now and the skills.
That's our point, is we empower
go back
you
and customize it a little bit.
Yeah.
So in a month from now, they're like, hey, I need to make a change to this. They're able to make that change themselves instead of being stuck. So
it's
I'm
like
hoping
anything
that's
else.
the outcome. I think that's the best outcome.
Yeah, it's like anything else you do.
Learn how to do it from people that are more experienced. We'll build a majority of what they need, hopefully a full working product, and if not, they can continue themselves.
Well, it's like the thing that you do, Derek, is you connect the dots. So whether it's showing me how to use Obsidian better or use Claude, you connect dots that I'm not aware of are there. And I think what we at Soapbox do is we connect dots for the majority of society. That's okay, AI sounds cool. What do I do with it? How do I make it work for me? It's okay, we'll help you connect those dots, but then we're not doing it for you. We want to empower you so that you understand this and can just do it on your own. We don't want to do it for you. We just want to show you that you have the power, dear. You could do it all alone, to quote the Wizard of Oz. You're just giving you the power, and then then they could teach other people they know, hey, there's this Shakespeare thing or this Ditto thing or whatever they need. If they need a social media platform, if they need a website or app, we'll help you build it. We're going to make it easier for you to build it too.
We have some other Nostr tools I guess we can talk about. Nostr threads, you mentioned this one. I'm not aware of it, but pigeon.lol I used and tested that one out.
Pigeons
Pigeon's really cool. It's used for scheduling, and I think Nostr Threads is as well.
Yes.
Pigeon does something very
Similar but different.
unique that they use a DVM to accomplish this. And it's really wild and very technical, but it works. Like, you don't need to know how any of the technical
No.
stuff. I was just
We
reading
don't need
it
to talk about
to
that.
see how they were doing it and how it was being accomplished.
These are important
and it's
apps
the
to
first
have.
one to do this type of stuff. It works really well. I really liked it. I think that scheduling like that, and since they built a DVM for this, really any client could build scheduling into it now, and
Thank you.
their DVM would just handle the scheduling.
Yeah,
That's what I think is cool. The interoperability opportunity.
That's the next level. Like we need people who can schedule their social media posts in advance. Schedule them, walk away. The next level is let's give teams the ability, and then we'll have now we have an editorial calendar. We could schedule posts ahead of time, so that's good. So now let's say I want Derek to run one of my Nostr handles, but I don't want to sacrifice my INSEC, so I want to give Derek the ability. Just like if you're familiar with the way we do this on Twitter, we give an account a delegate. So like, let's say same principle. I want to give Derek the ability to post from one of my Nostr NPubs. Like, I don't want to be able to just do that and be like, cool, I gave him the ability to do this, and if he posts something terrible, then I can revoke it too. Like, that's the one thing that we need in order to make this more professional for social media teams. And I'll die on this hill. I say this every week to somebody somewhere, like, we need this, and like it's gonna take time to get there. We'll get there, eventually. Maybe this year. I mean, at the rate we're going, we're building so much stuff so quickly. Let's do it.
Real quick before we go, we should mention that Nostrich Tom Morrow, he built a Shakespeare application called Sat Sorter. I checked it out the other day, and it's really cool. It's a Bitcoin budgeting app. It's awesome.
That's so
used
cool.
Shakespeare to build it. Just launched it this past week.
Yeah, and what I loved about this is he seems pretty serious about it. He wants people to use it and test and give it feedback for testing. And he also made it an NPub. So he made a Sats counter NPub. So it's like this
Sats Sorter.
Sats Sorter. There we go.
One S.
Sats Sorter. There we go. So that's, he's named,
really cool.
He's made a product, named it, gave it an NPub, asking for feedback. I think that's cool. I never budget my Sats. I don't look at it that way, but we just mentioned at the top of the podcast, we've got a huge circular economy that's spending a ton of Bitcoin and micropayments back and forth. You might essentially be able to budget that, or just if you want to live on a Bitcoin standard, budget that. There's plenty of people living on a Bitcoin standard all around the world, and they could stand to use this, and instead of dollar denominations for budgeting. I think we've got people making cool stuff. That's the greatest thing, is just to see what people want. What do they want? And this guy wanted
what do they want?
Sats budgeting app.
I want you to come to Nostr Nights at Bitcoin Park in Nashville in 2 weeks. I will be there. Many other Nostriches will be there. Will Kasserin from Damas, he'll be there speaking. David Strayhorn will be there speaking about Web of Trust from Nosfabrica, speaking about the Wadathon and why we're bullish on Grape Rank.
That is awesome. That's a whole nother subject. But yeah,
that is a new podcast that I need to add to my agentic skill set.
Web of Trust. Say what? Yeah, you were on I promoted that the other day. You were on Say What with the Pleb Chain Radio. You're on with the Watt Gang, the Web of Trust Watt Gang.
Yeah, check that podcast out. Check it out. Learn a little bit more about Web of Trust. Heather and I have spoken about it on the show a few times. But we went very much in depth with people that are building. So go ahead and check that out.
It's an idea that's maturing. There's a lot we can do with it, which is a whole other podcast, a whole other subject.
Okay, well, I need to run. I have to go get kids. So
you do. I know. Look at you. All right. Well, good talk, Derek. Ostrich is out. Or Nostrich is out.
Literally, son's calling me right now, so I need to go.